Alright, Shalom. I want to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahusha, Bahashim, Rukakwadash. And I want to give the honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, in grace and peace to you elect around the four winds, believing and pushing this truth in all sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your houses. This is your fellow servant, Rokayer from the GMS Orlando camp. And the title of tonight's lesson is Eventually the Trailer Will Become the Movie. All right, eventually the trailer will become the full movie. All right, and I'm speaking in regards to prophecy. All right, eventually the trailer of prophecy will become the full movie. All right, right now we're seeing little offspurts of prophecy playing out. All right, such as World War III, the onset of World War III. All right, the onset of famine, the onset of pestilence. All right, the onset of civil war. Okay, the onset of work being shut down. All right, the onset of race wars, and so on and so forth. All right, right now, the Lord essentially has a trailer, all right, to the movie that's getting ready to take place in the planet Earth. All right, the movie of judgment. And eventually, all right, this trailer is going to come to an end. All right, people have gotten settled, in their leaves, thinking that, these things are going, this is just the new normal. These things are just going to continue to happen, with no consequence. People are going to continue to be able to disrespect the Lord, disrespect the Lord's men and his word with no consequence. And that time is coming to an end. The time of judgment is at hand. All right, and the trailer is getting ready to become a movie. All right, a movie of judgment, And I have a couple of clips to play here. As you may know, recently there's been talks of the ILA union striking, the dock workers and so on and so forth. They've been striking for more pay, basically. And, we rely heavily on the dock workers for imports, for the goods and resources that we receive in these different grocery stores. And as the scriptures say, which we're going to get in a second, all right, in the book of 2nd Esdras, all right, the full storehouses shall suddenly appear empty. All right, and right now it's just a trailer. All right, the Lord has been given a lot of warnings. All right, the trailer is just really essentially what a trailer is. It's just an insight into what you're getting into when you view the movie. And the Lord has given us an insight in what's getting ready to happen in the planet Earth through these different things happening. All right, such as these strikes. All right, such as the skirmishes going on in Ukraine and Russia and Iran. All right, such as the skirmishes going on in Israel. All right, in Gaza. All right, such as these so-called elections. All right, such as the different pestilences that have been rising up. All right, the different wars and rumors of wars, the different earthquakes in diverse places. All right, the Lord's been giving us an insight into what he's getting ready to bring down into the planet Earth. All right, and I had this video, a couple of videos off of TikTok, which, is damn near like a quick media source, because a lot of things get downloaded on TikTok. Aside from the bullshit, a lot of things get downloaded and uploaded on TikTok quicker than they do on certain alternative media outlets. But this is one video. Check it out. All right, and this happened, as you can see, 3 days ago, right? And the significance I want to bring out of this is this, right? So when we have these different dock workers, they're important when it comes to unloading the different resources that come from the different countries and different, you know, importers, that import to America. All right, they're important when it comes to unloading those resources. All right, and earlier, late last year, we saw something similar when it came to the strike concerning truckers. Truckers are important when it comes to the economy as well, because they transport the resources that are unloaded from these containers, all right, that these dock workers work on. All right, they transport those resources to the grocery stores and to the different, you know, retail stores, all right, so that we can receive our goods, basically. So when these things are shut off, all right, you have no more resources going to those grocery stores. And furthermore, when they ask for more pay, that means that the price of the goods are going to go up, which means that the average American isn't going to be able to pay for it, because the average American is on a fixed salary. All right, the average American household is making between $25,000 to $30,000 a year. All right, so when prices go up, the check doesn't go up. All right, as prices go up, the check doesn't necessarily go up, which means that things become unaffordable. All right, which drives civil unrest. All right, which is what we're going to see here in these latter days. All right, I want to grab a quick preset before we move on to the second video. It's the second Esdras, chapter 15. Matter of fact, let me get this. It's second Esdras 16. In verse, I'm going to start at verse 19. The point is in verse 21. It says, "Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for men. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges." All right, the Lord is sending these different scourges upon the earth as amendments, for people to ask questions. So what's going on? Like, why is this happening? These things are happening because the Lord wants people or his elect to ask questions as to why these things are taking place in the earth. All right, but it says, "But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of their scourges. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon the earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case." All right, right now, victuals or resources are so good cheap in the earth that people think they're in good case. You can go to Popeyes, you can go to Wendy's, get you a damn near whole family meal for a couple of dollars. You know what I'm saying? $9, $8, $9, $10, and the whole family is straight. Right now, victuals are so good cheap in a sense to where people think themselves to be in a good case. But this is what the scripture says. "And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion." All right, and as people are, enthralled in the victuals being so good cheap, the sword is growing. All right, Esau, the so-called white man, is sharpening his sword, all right, for destruction. All right, famine is growing in the earth, as well as great confusion. It says, "For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine." All right, and the Lord said that many that dwell upon the earth are going to perish by famine. And famine is the lack of bread, the lack of resources, the lack of nourishment. And when you go into Lamentation, the 4th chapter, it says, "It's better that you die by the sword than by famine." Because famine is a slow pining away. Your flesh pines away. Your flesh begins to eat itself, basically, which is a process, a long process. That doesn't happen within days. That's a week-long, month-long process where your body begins to eat itself, to eat the fats. And then once the fats are going in the body, it begins to eat everything else. And that's a long process. And right now, as we speak, famine is growing in the earth. All right. It says, "For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy." All right, and there's going to be some that escape the hunger, but the sword is going to destroy them. Esau ultimately is going to destroy them. All right, whether it be through the next world war, whether it be through the race wars, are the class wars that's getting ready to happen. All right, because right now there's a great divide between the American people. All right, you always have this divide during the election year. All right, you have the Democrats against the Republicans, which goes back to the ancient Roman Empire, the plebeians and patricians. All right, which shows you that America is Rome revised, or the revised Roman Empire. But we always have this great divide when it comes to the election, when it comes to the time of the elections. And right now, you have a great divide between Democrats and Republicans. All right, the commoner and the 1%, as it were. And you have a great divide between classes. Right now there's a great class war going on, and the elites are actively destroying the middle class. All right, the middle class is being destroyed, and what's going to be left as a result is the high and the low class. All right, the power is going to be held within the hands of the few. All right, which plays into this devil's God complex. All right, read 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. All right, this is the man of sin. All right, who's trying to prop himself up as being God. All right, and the way that he's going about it is by destroying the middle class and by forwarding his technology. But nevertheless, it says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. And we're coming into that point to where the cities are going to be cast down. We're coming into that point of civil unrest, and along with civil unrest, martial law. All right, because as civil unrest comes about, there's going to be a state of martial law, which the scriptures speak about. All right, let's get that in the chapter before this, 2nd Esdras 15. And 17, 16. It says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right, meaning that, the course of their actions is going to stand in their power, meaning whatever people have the power to do, that's what they're going to do. Or if they have the power to kick in your door and take your resources, that's what they're going to do. All right, there's going to be no more regard for law enforcement or judges or mayors. All right, the power is going to be held within the hands of the people, which is going to bring forth that stringent law, or those draconian laws, all right, from Esau, or at the top of the elites. It says, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. All right, martial law is a part of the scriptures. All right, which is what we're getting ready to experience here in the earth. Because as these protests continue to increase, which they're only going to increase, right? Civil unrest is only going to increase, all right, because people are disgruntled. All right, people's 401ks are being taken away, the pensions being taken away. All right, you have retirement plans being taken away, jobs being taken. Okay, civil unrest is going to increase. It's a fact. Jobs are going to decrease. All right, as it says in Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter. All right, the grinding shall cease. That's Salakia. Isaiah, the 19th chapter. The grinding shall cease. All right. And as the grinding ceases, all right, there's going to be unrest within society. All right. And as the unrest, shows itself, Esau is going to offer up the solution, which is going to be through martial law and ultimately through his RFID microchip. All right, to track, trace, and to govern, the world. But it says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. All right, this is what's hedging on the earth, right? All right, this is what's hedging. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. And right now, the cities are getting ready to be troubled on an aspect that has never been seen before. When you read Daniel, the 12th chapter, it says that there shall be a judgment that has never before been seen on the planet Earth. All right, and that's going to happen because of Esau's pride. The so-called white man's pride is going to drive the earth and the cities to that point. And right now, what we're experiencing is just a trailer. This is just a trailer. The Lord is giving us little tits and bits of what's getting ready to happen in the earth. Judgment. When you look at, the war that's going on over there in the Ukraine and Russia, you see a lot of bodies dropping. You see a lot of bodies and men dropping dead. And that's a trailer to what's getting ready to happen in the Americas. Because as wars are waged against America, there's going to be a draft. All right, they've already given you a trailer to the draft. All right, men and women are going to be drafted into this next world's war. All right, and they're starting to age at the age as young as 16, I believe, here in America. All right, or 17 or 18, something like that. But as wars waged over here in the Americas, that Third World War, there are going to be bodies that are drafted. All right, and those bodies are going to drop just as frequently as they are in the Ukraine and Russia. Because the scriptures say that the blood shall be up to the horse's bridle. All right. Hold on real quick. This is Revelation 14, verse 19. And the angel thrust his sickle into the earth and gathered the vine of the earth and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of the heavenly Father. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse's bridle, by the space of 1,600 furlongs. All right, and there's going to be much bloodshed in the planet Earth. All right, and right now there's a trailer. The Lord is giving us a trailer to what's getting ready to happen. All right, we see men dropping. We see bodies dropping. We see great death. We see great bloodshed. We see wars and rumors of wars. We see the skirmishes. We see the pestilences. We see the earthquakes in diverse places. We see the love of many waxing cold, amongst many more prophecies, right? We see all these things. And these things are just a trailer, because the Lord said this is when he will begin to visit the earth. And upon the full visitation, there's going to be a greater judgment. All right? It's spoken about in Daniel, the 12th chapter. There's a greater judgment coming to the earth than what's been seen as of yet. And eventually the trailer is going to become a movie. All right? The full movie. And in the full movie, it's different from the trailer. In the trailer, you see little tidbits. You see, okay, it might be a jump scare here. I know what to expect. When the movie comes, it's a lot more jump scares. It's a lot more plot twists. It's a lot more different variations than what you've seen in the trailer. And what the Lord is getting ready to bring is terrible. It's terrible. We read about it in 2 Ezra, the 15th chapter. All right, eventually the full storehouses are going to be found empty. And once that happens, there's going to be civil unrest. All right, followed by sedition among men, followed by martial law, followed by the MOTB, followed by World War III. But let me see. I have one more video.
We know that we're in a fight. If they want to fight, then a war is what they're going to get. I've been in longshoreman for over 23 years. And one thing I do know to be true, gas has went up. The cost of living has constantly went up. And throughout these 23 years that I've been on the waterfront, we've only asked for $2, $3, or maybe $5 over the course of the contract. We've done our part. And we're asking, hey, you do your part. Because during the pandemic, we never stopped working. Imagine that a hospital is looking for a type of blood to be shipped to it. And it's on the ship that I'm working on. But it's pouring down raining, lightning. We can't stop working. We got to get that box off so that hospital can continue to drive and save the people's lives that they've been working on. So that's where we're at with it. And we just want to be respected for it. And I think it's high time that we demand that. And we're long overdue. Automation is serious. Because when you bring new automation in to take away from our jobs, you don't make means for that person to have a job. They're pushed over to the side and they can't do their job that they've been accustomed to doing. What we're asking is allow our people to continue to work in this industry without going to get an extra job to make ends meet. Allow us to take care of our families like we've been doing with the wages that we currently have in place. Continue that trend. That's
Right. And all this, pleading is going to eventually lead into civil unrest. Because eventually the American economy is going to be driven to shit. It's going to be driven to shit. All right. And eventually there's going to be no more work, for the average American, which is going to drive them into civil unrest. And eventually this trailer is going to become a movie. And that's the time that the Lord has given us to prepare for. Because this time is speedily approaching us, man. Eventually this trailer is going to become a movie. Eventually the Lord is going to move on the prophecies that were forewritten and foretold aforetime. But with that being said, Lord, I want to edify to elect. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rukakwadash, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. In grace and peace to you elect around the four winds, believing and pushing this truth in all sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your houses. Shalom. Stay up.